All right, good morning. This is going to be for Friday for Integrated 3. Today we have got pretty much the same type of idea as yesterday with the word problems. We're going to be using these word problems to make linear functions. But except this time we are going to be comparing them. All right, so first of all, before we can do any of that, let's go ahead and get our functions written down. All right, so we got Teton County Fair charges $18 just to get in and $3 each. All right, so $3 each, that's like saying $3 per ticket, right? So when I say my cost is going to be $3 per ticket plus the initial 18 that it takes to get in, right? Notice that whatever that flat fee is or the fee that it costs just to get in, that is what is going to be added at the end, and whatever the ticket price is, that is what is being multiplied by T. All right, because it's $3 times the number of tickets plus the initial 18. All right, and then I'll just write CT because that is cost for Teton. All right, and then Meager County Fair charges $10 admittance, and then tickets are $3.50 each. So I'm going to say that is the cost of Meager, and that is going to be 3.5, right? $3.50 per ticket plus the initial 10 that it took to get in. And then in the same way for Rosebud County, we got the cost of Rosebud equals $2.50 for each ticket, right? $2.50 each plus the initial 26. All right. Let's use those. Go ahead, come over here to board number 2. All right. I'm going to rewrite them, the equations that we just came up with, so that we have them all on the same page. All right, so we have our Teton equation, cost of Teton. It was $3 per ticket plus 18 to get in. At Meager, it was $3.50 per ticket plus, this thing is so frustrating sometimes, plus $10 to get in. And then Rosebud was $2.50 per ticket plus 26 to get in. All right, so those are our equations. In green, we got Teton. In blue, we have Meager. And in red, we have Rosebud. All right, so it says, Susie went to all 3 fairs and bought 12 tickets each. How much did she spend at each fair? All right, so that's saying that T is equal to 12, right? That's the number of tickets we bought. So I'm going to go through each of our equations and plug in 12 for T. So the cost at Teton would be 3 times 12 plus 18, which comes out to $54. And then cost at Meager would be 3.5 times 12 plus 10, which comes out to $52. And then hopefully I'm doing these right. I'm doing these in my head, so if I screw up, let me know and correct me. But these should be coming out right. And then the last one, cost of Rosebud, was $2.50 per ticket. So we're going to have 2.5 times 12 plus 10. And that will come out to, oh no, I don't know where I got 10 from. Whoops, that is a 26 plus 26. And that is going to come out to $56. All right, so that is going to be the cost of each fair. Cost of Teton was 54, cost of Meager was 52, and cost of Rosebud is 56 if you go to each one and buy 12 tickets. All right, and it says James wants to go to one fair and he wants to buy 20 tickets. Which would be the most cost effective? All right, so what we can do is we can test it. We can see what is the price if we buy 20 tickets at each fair. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through each of these and I am plugging in 20 for the T. All right, I'm looking at these equations, these guys up here, and I am plugging in 20 for T, and I want to see which one gives me the lowest cost when I plug in 20 for T. All right, so let's see what we got. 3 times 20 plus 18. That's going to be $78 at Teton. At Meager, that's going to be 3.5 times 20 plus 18, I keep writing them down wrong, plus 10. 3.5 times 20 plus 10, that is going to be 80. And then the cost of Rosebud is going to be 2.5 times 20 plus that initial cost of 26, which is going to be $76. So he should go to the Rosebud Fair because that's the cheapest one. All right, determine the number of tickets they would have to buy to spend the same amount of money. So we want the same amount of money at Teton and at Meager. All right, so what that's saying is that we want the cost of Teton to be equal to the cost of Meager. So we want the cost of Teton to be equal to the cost of Meager. That's what he's looking for. All right, well, as we already know, the cost of Teton is 3 times the number of tickets plus 18, right? The cost to get in. And that needs to be equal to the cost of Meager. And again, we already know the cost of Meager is 3.5 times the number of tickets plus 10. All right, so whenever it's asking for how many tickets or something about having two of our equations needing to be the same or be equal to each other, you're just going to set them equal to each other, just like that. So you have one equation equals the other equation, and then we can solve for that variable. All right, in this case, we are solving for t. We're solving for the number of tickets. All right, so let's go ahead and solve for t. So we could subtract 10 on both sides. That's going to give me 3t plus 8 equals 3.5t. And then we can subtract 3t. And then that's going to leave me with 8 equals 0.5t. And then we can divide by 0.5 on both sides. And that will give you 16 equals t. So if he wants to spend the same amount of money at both fairs, he should buy 16 tickets. And sure enough, if you wanted to check this, what you could do, if you wanted to check that you got your answer right, you could take 16 and then plug it into both of those equations. And what you would see is that you're going to get the same answer for both of those. Specifically, what you would get would be it would be 66. You're going to find that it is $66 either way. All right. And then would it cost more or less or the same to buy that number of Rose tickets at the Rosebud County Fair? All right, so I'm going to use my Rosebud equation up here. And we are interested to see how much does it cost if I buy 16 tickets. So I'm plugging 16 in for t at Rosebud. And then 2.5 times 16 is 40. 40 plus 26 is 66. And it turns out it will actually cost the same. So if you're buying 16 tickets, it does not matter where you go. All right. Let me know if you have any questions, and good luck. Have fun.